All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, I want to do this lesson. All right, as you can see, I entitled it Mama's House. Um, and then in parentheses, you have Song of Solomon 8. Okay, and that's basically Mama's house. I got that from verse 2. All right, mother's house, and dealing with Song of Solomon, the first chapter 8, verse 1 and 2. All right, going into overall this truth. All right, it's very important. All right, that we understand. Okay, the value. Okay, the value. All right, of knowing this truth. Okay, the value. All right, because you need to understand that some people may look at the truth and they may say, oh well, it's not really not everybody's into it. All right, or not everybody's is basically jumping on it. And the way you've been conditioned in society is that if something is good, all right, or favorable, everybody runs at it. Everybody's jumping on it, trying to really get their piece. They all rush towards it. And so because this truth, all right, the way the way Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai set it up, because this truth is not outwardly, it doesn't outwardly appear that way. Okay, actually, as a matter of fact, before we, even go into Song of Solomon, I want to go here to the book of Sirach, the 4th chapter. All right, see, the truth does not appear outwardly as something necessarily enticing, okay, or desirable to the world. That's why a lot of people are not running, all right, to mama's house, so to speak. Okay, representing, wherever this truth is, where you can get this word. So, an example would be YouTube. An example would be the highways and the byways. Okay, that would be mama's house, because when we go into the scripture, that's where you come to get the word. All right, to hear the truth, to get that true wisdom. Okay, so now this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 4, verse. Now this is dealing with wisdom. Okay, this is dealing with wisdom. And man, there's a lot in here, but as a matter of fact, let's just go to verse 11. All right, so it says here, wisdom exalteth her children. All right, so notice wisdom is being likened onto as a mother, which she's likened onto as a wife, a mother, many things. Okay, but notice here it says she wisdom exalteth her children. All right, and layeth hold of them that seek her. All right, it says he that loveth her loveth life. All right, and they that seek her early shall be filled with joy. You see, but in this world, in this society, okay, their minds have been misconstrued. They've been so messed up to the point where they don't seek life. Remember, we're living in the valley of the shadow of death, and these people are dry bones, which is a perfect prop, all right, for the setting of the valley of the shadow of death. So they don't desire life. So that's why they don't rush to this truth. They're not coming to mama's house. All right. It says, he that holdeth her fast shall inherit glory. See, so this truth is special. All right. Mama's house is special, and it's important that you come to mama's house. All right. And you stay, because, when the Lord really, picture gold. All right. That's in the ground, in the dirt, covered up by mud and all of that before it's purified. People desire gold after, of course, gold is gold, but they really desire it, or their eye really goes on it, or they see the true value of it after it's been purified. See, so what the Lord has done is he's really masked this truth. He's masked it. Imagine seeing a house from the outward appearance that looks all broken down, abandoned. But when you go on the inward, it's the most luxurious place that you've ever been to. All right. So picture that. That's the way the Lord set it up, to test. All right. To test those, because see, if the Lord had this truth, the same way Yahushua came down. if the Lord had this truth in a way where it was enticing, oh my gosh, it was this, it was that, people, whether sincere or insincere, would rush to it. But that's not how the Lord set it up. As a matter of fact, Romans 11:7 tells you what then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So the reason that not the whole world, all right, or majority of people are not flocking to this truth isn't because it's not true or it's not valuable, but because they've been blinded. So now how can a blind person, all right, see Mama's house? How can you find your directions? Okay. So they walk like what? Like blind men. All right. So don't get it twisted, man. This truth is special because, all right, it's dealing with only a remnant. You know, people think that when something isn't wanted by the masses, that means that it's bad. No. Okay. Not in this case. That makes it rare. It's not that it's not wanted. Is they can't have access to it. All right. Verse 13. Okay, so it says, he that holdeth her fast, all right, talking about wisdom, all right, he that holdeth her fast shall inherit glory. Okay, and whosoever she entereth, the Lord will bless. It says, they that serve her shall minister to the Holy One, and them that love her, the Lord doth love. So if you love wisdom, not just any wisdom, all right, but the true wisdom that cometh from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, if you love wisdom, the Lord loves you. Okay. So it says, verse 15, whoso giveth ear unto her shall judge the nations, and he that attendeth unto her shall dwell securely. All right, now, all right, I'm going to get to the main point here. Verse 16, if a man commit himself unto her, he shall inherit her, and his generation shall hold her in possession. All right, but you got to come to Mama's house. That's how you're going to get access to it. Okay, verse 17, it says, for at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws. And this process, you know what this is doing? This is what is spoken of here in the book of Romans, I believe the 12th chapter. All right, Romans chapter 12, and I want to say the second verse. All right, so it says here, hey, as a matter of fact, I'll start at the first verse, Romans 12:1. I beseech you, brethren, or I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. So now relating this back to Mama's house, if that's where the truth is at, okay, and let's say you liken this truth onto food, because the truth is likened onto food. All right, you know, as Apostle Tahar mentioned, you got this truth that's in the scriptures is referred to as the spiced wine, is referred to as the oil, is referred to as water, living waters, is referred to as bread, the bread of life is referred to also as milk. This is what? This is food. So when you come to Mama's house, all right, this is what you're going to get fed. But in Mama's house, you got to have those that are making the food. Okay? So when comparing that back to, you know, reality, when you come to whether it's a channel or, you know, it's a camp or whatnot, that's Mama's house. That's where you have those that are cooking, you know, the readers, the speaker. All right. And what are they doing? By reading and breaking down the precepts, that's preparing a meal and feeding it to you. Okay. So Romans 12:1, if you liken that back to the example, the metaphor, your reasonable service is to come to Mama's house, you get fed, you learn how to make the food, and then you feed others that come to Mama's house. Relating back to reality, you go up, you know, you start listening, you start learning, you're getting fed in the spirit to the point where you're weaned. Remember, one of the foods of the truth is milk. So you're weaned. And when you're weaned, then what? You learn how to make the food. And now you become a worker. It's your reasonable service since you got fed in mama's house. Now you got to work in mama's house. All right. And feed others as well. So you come up, you listen, you learn, you grow, you teach. And then the cycle continues. Okay. Verse 2, it says, and be not conformed to this world. All right. But then now we're going to link this back to Sirach, the 4th chapter. All right. Be not conformed to this world. Let's look up the word conformed. That's a pretty long Greek word. Let's play it.
Strong's G 4964. Suschematizo. Suschematizo.
That's right. Suschematizo. Okay. And it says here to conform oneself, one's mind and character to another's pattern. Fashion oneself according to. And what do the scriptures say? Let's get that real quick. Jeremiah 2:33. Okay, it says, why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou taught the wicked ones thy ways. So when you trim your way to seek love, what are you doing? You're conforming yourself, right, to another's pattern to seek love. So as Paul is saying here, don't be conformed, all right? Don't change, don't, set your mind to a certain way, all right, to this world. But what? But be ye transformed, okay? Transformed, change, the form of your mind. Change the form of your mind, all right, by the renewing of your mind, okay? Now I just put that together, transform, but let's actually look up what it actually says. Metamorpho, all right, to change into another form. Yeah, see, change to another form. Yeah, all right, to transform, to transfigure. All right, but we're gonna deal with to change to another form. So what happens? You as I gotta get it. The mind of, well, it says Jesus, but we know it's Yahushua. Okay. Where is it at? There's a precept that says you got to put on the mind. Let's see. There's another one that I believe it's along the lines of, you basically got to put on the mind of Yahushua. All right, you got to put on the mind of Yahushua. All right, but nonetheless, dealing with that, when you renew your mind, all right, you're transforming your mind. You're changing, all right, your mind to that of what? That of a remnant, a hopeful elect. Okay, so don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed. Have your mind changed by the renewing of your mind. Okay, and how do you renew your mind? By learning this truth, by really waking up to it, and then learning and growing, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So once you learn, once your mind is renewed, okay, you go and you do what? You teach the word. Okay, make full proof of thy ministry. All right, so we're proving what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Now, how is your mind renewed? How do you transform? Because when you first come to this truth, that's why Paul said we have to become fools to become wise. When you first come to this truth, you're conformed to this world. But when you first come to this truth, that transformation process is what? A part of this. All right, Sirach 4:17. For at the first you will walk with him by crooked ways. This is dealing with wisdom, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline. And all of that, what is that doing? That is transforming your mind. Okay? That is transforming your mind. You come to mama's house and you trying to find the kitchen and you can't find it. You open this door, it says kitchen, but it leads you to the bathroom. And, you open this door and there's a whole scarecrow. You getting shit. And then, eventually you finally find it. Okay? So what the crooked ways and the discipline transforms your mind until what? Until she may trust his soul, and that's when your mind has been renewed. Okay, it says, and try him by her laws. So when you first come into this truth, you first have that sweetness, all right, but then that bitterness starts to set in. You start realizing and being conscious of what catching hell actually is. People separate themselves from you. You know, you gotta discipline yourself because you've been doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. So that beginning process of cutting those things off, you got to do all of that. All right. So it says, then will she return the straight way onto him after your mind has been renewed. All right, and comfort him and show him her secrets. You see that? So now going back to the original point, this is the reason, all right, why this truth isn't necessarily desired by many. Not because it's undesirable, all right, but because they're not able to pass the trials of verse 17 in order to reach the secrets, which is the desirable part of it. All right. You're trying to find Mama's house, but you getting tripped up on the way. It's raining. The GPS is messing up. You hitting a dead end, but then it says this is the location. But a lot of people, what do? They fall off the path. Okay, but those that actually make it, okay. Well, now let's actually go to the Book of Songs or Song of Songs, Song of Solomon, 8 verse 1. Okay, so it says, oh, nah, this is not it, but this is also a good one. This is from the brother Tazar. Shalom to those watching, by the way. This is the brother Tazar. 1 Corinthians 2:16. For who have known the mind of the Lord that he may instruct him? But we have. Oh yeah. This is the one. This is the one. The water. Yep. That's the one. But we have the mind of Mashiach, or as it would say, and we know that's what Yahushai. Now, how did we get the mind of Yahushai? Now, if you're of the elect, you're of the elect regardless. But how did you get the mind of Yahushai? By having it renewed. Because when we were in the world, we didn't have the mind of Yahushai. But coming into this truth, okay, being brought to Mama's house after we tasted that food, then what? We got the mind of Yahushai. Because, hey, guess what? Food actually changes you. Okay? Food changes you. When you eat healthy, all right, you look healthy. You feel healthy. You think healthy. When you eat junk food, you feel bad. You think bad. You get that negative, negativity. All right. So this is the Book of Song. All right. Song of Songs, chapter 8. Okay, verse 1. All right, and it says, Salakia. All right, it says, "Oh, that thou wert as my brother." Okay, that's so. Now, what this is referring to this truth. Okay, so oh, that thou wert as my brother. All right. Now, who are your brothers in today's day and age? That'll be those that are in this truth. Okay. So, oh, that thou were as my brother, that you were in this truth. The scriptures say, "Can two walk together? All right, except they be agreed." Okay. It says that sucked the breast of my mother. It's not literal, okay, but sucking the breast of my mother is having this truth, okay. Because now, how do we know that? It's dealing with wisdom. Proverbs the 5th chapter. All right, and dealing really with verse 19, because when you read in Proverbs the 5th chapter, starting up above at a couple of verses, this is talking about wisdom. All right. So now remember, in Song of Solomon, he says that, "Oh, that thou were as my brother, that sucked the breast of my mother." Okay. Meaning what? I suck the breast of my mother because she bare me. Right. So if you suck you suck the breast of my mother, you're my brother, right? You bear me. Now remember, we read I believe it was in Ecclesiasticus the 4th chapter, that wisdom exalteth her what? Her children. Okay. And who does a mother breastfeed? Her child. Okay. So that sucked the breast of my mother. Now this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 19. Let her wisdom be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her what? Let her breasts satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. Okay. So dealing with wisdom, but more specifically, this truth. It says, when I should find thee without, meaning, find those that aren't in this truth. All right, I would kiss thee. It's not literal, but it means I would teach you. I'll bring this truth onto you. Okay. Yea, I should not be despised. And now there's a scripture, um, enemy, because when you contrary to what what should happen, sometimes what does happen is this. Galatians 4 and 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Okay. So going back to Song of Solomon 8 and 1, I would kiss thee, tell you the truth. Yea, I should not be despised. Am I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? I shouldn't, you know. But then again, for a wicked individual, I would become your enemy because I tell you the truth. The same way Yahweh Shai became their enemy because he told them the truth, because they had no cloak for their sins. So what did they do? They put him to death. All right. Verse 2, it says, I would lead thee and bring thee into my mother's house. That's where I got the title Mama's house. Okay. I will bring thee into my mother's house, who would instruct me. I would cause thee to drink of spiced wine of the juice of my pomegranate, which is representative of this truth. Okay. So bringing you to leading you, all right, and bringing you to Mama's house, who would instruct me. That's where you get this truth. That's where you let's actually go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 12. All right, it says here, for when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again. See, when for the time ye ought to be teachers, oh, I would that thou were my brother. Okay, ye have need that one teach you again. Whoa, that what? Who would instruct me? Okay, now how do you get instructed by wisdom? Well, by taking heed to the men who have wisdom. Okay, and where do those men give you the wisdom? On the highways and byways and via the web. Okay, so that's Mama's house. All right, it says Hebrews 5, continuing at verse 12, it says, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God. So how do you get taught? You have to come to where the teachings are, right? You got to either find the channel or you got to find where the men of the Lord are. Meaning you got to come to Mama's house and get instructed. Okay? And what? Drink of the wine, of the spiced wine. You know? Oh, another way the scriptures also represented as the roll, where it says you got to eat the whole roll. Okay? It says here, and which be the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. Okay, for every one that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. All right. So, going back to it, now at Mama's house, of course, you got meat, you got the milk, you got you got all these. All right. But, tying it all into the overall message. All right. You got to come to Mama's house. All right. And you got to learn, you got to eat. No, you got to eat the food that's given you. Okay. Eat all of it. Okay. Which is dealing with this truth. When you come here, when you find the channels, when you learn, okay, from, the apostles of Great Millstone on down, you got to learn the whole thing. You got to eat the whole thing. You can't despise us for teaching you the truth, but you have to value this truth, man, because this truth is valuable. Because guess what? Not everybody is able to come here. Not everybody gets led. All right, like it says, I will lead thee and bring thee into my mother's house. You think you're just gonna bring anybody to your mother's house? You just meet a random stranger. Oh yeah, come on over to my mom's house. You know, I'm gonna let you ride in. Come have a good old time with me. No, okay. But somebody that you become close with, somebody, same thing. You see potential when when you may come across somebody. Hey, this person, they got a little sense in here, you know, and you could use wisdom, read the spirit based on how they're responding to whatever you're telling them. Then you might say, hey, you should look up such and such, or you should do, and lead them, to Mama's house, where if they're of the elect, they'll get that instruction. Okay. I see some brothers put some precepts on here, so let's read that, and then Lord willing, we could wrap it up. But we have here, actually pull it up. All right, so we have there we go. The brother Tazar, 1 Peter 2:2. I'll put it up. All right, it says, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. Okay, once again, going back to the foods of the truth. All right, the foods of the spirit. Okay, the sincere milk that ye may grow thereby. Linking that with Hebrews, the 5th chapter and the 12th verse. Okay. Yep. The Prince of Yahweh 2, Jeremiah 3:15. It says, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. So guess what? When you come to Mama's house, what do you think you're going to get there? You're going to get that knowledge and you're going to get that understanding. And what is that going to do? That's going to be to instruct you. Okay? That's going to be to instruct you. So metaphorically, you're getting fed. All right? But really that food is instruction. Okay? This is Proverbs 13:20. All right, it says, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. Okay, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise. Why is that? Because if you walk with wise men, you see what wise men do, and you're gonna start picking up on it, and before you know it, you're gonna be a wise man. That's why it's important who you keep company with. And the scriptures say that what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness, okay, and light with darkness. All right. Yep. Song of Solomon 7:9. And the root of thy mouth like the best wine for my beloved, that goeth down sweetly, causing the lips of those that are asleep to speak. Okay. And so once again, you're dealing with that wine, okay, which is the truth. All right. And what does it say in Revelation 3 on 19, 20, 21 on down? What was Yahushua going to do? He was going to sup with you. What is that? That's Eden, right? Yep, there we go. The brother Tazar, Acts 8:30. It says, and Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah, and said, understandest thou what thou readest? Verse 31. And he said, how can I, except some man should guide me? Whoa, hold up. Now, as a matter of fact, let's go real quick to Song of Solomon, the 3rd chapter. Verse 2. Yep, there we go. 3:1. It says, by night on my bed I sought him whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. I will rise now and go about the cities, in the streets and in the broad ways. I will seek him whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. Right? So what exactly are you seeking is this truth. And really, in order to get the truth, who you got to find? The men of the Lord. Okay? But going to the precept, it says what? So what this eunuch was doing was he was seeking. All right? He was desiring, he was seeking. Okay. And when Philip ran to him and said, "Understandest thou what thou readest? Have you found? Have you found what you're seeking?" Because when you're reading something, what are you hoping to get? What do the scriptures say that you should get? With all thy getting. All right. Let me share my screen again, Salakia. All right. Proverbs 4 and 7. It says here, with wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. All right. Now, what links up with that? Let's get another precept. In the book of Hebrews. All right, Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. Now I know I got this, but we're gonna go back to it because what does this say here? For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first what? Principles of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. Proverbs 4 and 7. Wisdom is the what? Principal thing. All right. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get what? Get understanding. So when you read, what are you seeking to get? Yeah, you're seeking to get knowledge, you're seeking to acquire wisdom, but ultimately to do that, you have to understand what you're reading. Okay? So likening that to Song of Solomon 3, him rising up and going about seeking whom he loves, what is he desiring? That understanding, to get that understanding. So when you're seeking, you're reading, all right. But until you find, as it says, yeah, I found him not, that's when you get that understanding. All right. That's the whole reason you're reading, to understand what you're reading, so you can use it, you can utilize it. All right. So going back here to Acts 8 and 31. Actually, it'll be better if I just pull it up here. All right, Acts 8 and 31. As it says, so Philip asked him, understandest what thou readest? So metaphorically, have you found who you're looking for? It says, and he said, how can I, except some man should guide me? Okay. And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him. Why? Because what was Philip going to do? Philip was going to guide him and give him that understanding. So what did he do? He desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him. Song of Solomon 3, right? I will rise up. It says, I will rise up now and go about the cities in the broadways, and I will seek whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. What? That desire. Okay. And what did the eunuch tell Philip? How can I, except some man should guide me? Song of Solomon 8. Okay, 8 and 2. I would lead thee, okay, and bring thee to my mother's house. So I will what? Guide you. So now this is an example, because what was Philip doing? Philip was guiding. Oh, that thou were as my brother. Philip now guided this Ethiopian eunuch, which he wasn't a heathen, he was an Israelite, but he guided him where? To the truth, to Mama's house. All right. It says here, verse 31, and he said, how can I, except some man should guide me? And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him. That the place of the scripture which he read was this: he was led as a sheep to the slaughter, and like a lamb dumb before his shearer, so opened he not his mouth. And I believe that's in the book of Isaiah. All right. I want to say 53. We could always check. All right. All right. Yeah, 53. All right. And it says, so let's keep reading here. It says, in his humiliation, in his judgment was taken away, because he's here, he's talking about, he's reading, but is talking about Yahushai. All right. It says, his judgment was taken away, and whom shall declare his generation? for his life is taken from the earth. It says, and the eunuch answered Philip and said, I pray thee, of whom speaketh this prophet? Of himself or of some other man? Then Philip opened his mouth and began at the same scripture and preached unto him Yahushai. Okay. And then, it goes on down, Philip baptizes him, and then, Philip basically dips. All right. So so in this sense, Philip guided him. Okay. Philip guided him to Mama's house. And what happened there? That Revelation 3 and 20. He got the food, but who was supping with him? Yahushai. Okay. That's what it says in Revelation 3 and 20, that I will come in and I will sup with him. All right. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, so this will be the last one. Prince of Yahweh 2, Proverbs 22 and 17. Bow down thine ear and hear the words of the wise, and apply thine heart unto my knowledge. All right, and that is very, very key, okay, and essential, that you realize the value. Romans 11 and 33. Oh, the depth, all right, of the riches, okay, of the wisdom of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, man. All right, so realize the value and the value, all right, of this truth. Okay, so for those of you that are in the know, all right, you in Mama's house, so you either eating, all right, or you working. You either eating or you're a worker. All right, but either or, stay, because once you leave, man, you're gonna be, that's it. It's over for you. You're not allowed back in. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. Hey man, we gotta always, put in things in perspective. All right. Always keep in mind how valuable this truth is. All right. This isn't undesirable because the world doesn't desire it. It's not that they don't desire it, they cannot have access to it. This is exclusive. All right. That's what makes it more desirable. All right. So with that, I'm gonna end it here. Lord willing, you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.